Alright, so last week took a bike ride, everything was good, ready to go for a ride. Today we found a flat tire. So, gotta get this changed, hit the road. Also, good opportunity is we got some excess chain slack, so we're gonna be able to take that out. Depending on your bike, you're gonna have to open up the rear brake, V-brakes, and candies like this one. You just pop the cable open so we can get that rear wheel off. You got a geared bike, you got a few other things that you might have to do. We've got our beautiful All City with our built-in chain tensioners. We're going to loosen those up because we know we're going to readjust that on the way out. And that's going to allow us to slack the chain off. And pretty simple, nice and single speed. Just get this wheel off, super easy. And now we're ready to throw a new tube in. All right, now that we got the wheel off, we are gonna pull the tire off and pull the tube out, and pretty easy little thing to do here. First thing we're going to do, pull the valve cap, set screw. Now, depending on how tight your bead is on your tire, you may need a couple tire levers, 2 or 3. I like the Park Tool ones with the little hook on the end. It goes around the spoke. We're always going to start on the opposite side of the valve stem. You're going to fish your first tire lever under the bead, hook it on the spoke. The next one's going to go in, and you're just going to slide around there. We're halfway down. We're going to go the one we started with, around. Sometimes you need to use 2, 3, sometimes you can just push it off. Now that we're off that way, we're going to spin the wheel around and just pull the tire out. Important thing now is to set this on the ground. And we're going to pull our tube out. And there's a couple of ways. If you pump your tube up, you can kind of source where the hole is. A lot of times you get in a puncture flat from throwing a new one in. I like to rub my hand on the inside of the tube. Just make sure you don't feel anything sharp. If you feel something sharp, that's where it's going to be at. The best way to do it is to overinflate your tube, find the hole, then you can source it to a specific point in the tire. Find out if it's tire, you'll find out if it's rim strip. For today, we're just going to leave that well enough. Next step is to just grab your tube, and you're going to start off putting just enough air in this tube to make it take a round shape. Always use a pump with a gauge. Make sure you're getting the right amount of air in there. If you start with a compressor, always finish with a gauge. Just enough to get the shape. Close that back up so we're not leaking any air. Then we're going to stuff that right back into the tire. Now, I like to take and find where our PSI rating is on the tire and put the valve stem there. Then when you go to put air in it later, in case you forget, you can just find it right there. It's quick and easy. I'm going to stuff this all the way in. If you got too much air in, it's not a real big deal. You can always let a little bit out. It goes in the tire a little easier, and it also helps prevent you from pinching. Now, just like when we took it off, where we started at the opposite end of the valve core when we put it on, we're going to start with it at the valve core and work around. Make sure at this point you're looking at rolling direction, wheel forward. Either analyze your tread or look for the marking on the tire. This one we know it goes this direction. I'm going to put the valve in. We're just working the first side of the bead on. Sometimes you need a table, sometimes you need to go to the ground. Some of these are way harder than others. This one happens to go on super easy, which is a really nice wheel tire combination for a flat on the road. Then we're just going to work the second side around, all the way around, until it pops on. If you're having troubles putting it on, always use your palm and roll with your palm versus trying to push with your fingers. It makes it way easier. We're just going to start screwing on the lock nut just a little bit. Grab the pump. And sometimes you put that on, it doesn't go right away. It means you just didn't quite get it on right away. Or you made the mistake of forgetting to open it back up. When you open it up, tap it to prep it. That just makes sure there's not debris or anything in there. Pump it up. As you're pumping, you start to get it to it's starting to get a little bit firm. Then you want to analyze the bead, make sure nothing's coming off around there. And then you're going to go ahead and pump this up to proper pressure. I generally go 5 below max if you want a nice firm ride. Never lower than 5 above the minimum recommendation. And we're going to get this pumped up and then throw it back on the bike. Alright, we're ready to go. We got the tire fully inflated. We went with 80 psi. Since we're mostly on the road on this one, maximum is 85. We're ready to put this wheel back on the bike. Just gonna slide her in. Get all the handy features that All City gives us, which we love. Chain on. And just pedal to get it to go on. Now we can reattach this brake. Grab our 3mm and start to adjust our tension. Our tensioner here. You kind of want to start a little bit on each side to get it centered and pretty close. And keep in mind that no matter how good your gears are, you have higher spots and lower spots. Okay, so you're going to look for the high spot. Find the tightest point. At the tightest point, we want this tight but not overly tight. We'll fine-tune this adjustment here. Double check everything is centered on the wheel. Crank those bolts on tight. And we're ready to ride.